Good afternoon and welcome back again, Realty Pros. It is a pleasure to have you all with us again today. As you know, we've been talking about listings over the last month or so. We've been talking about marketing for listings, the various listing types, activating and setting up your listings, marketing your listings. And last week, we talked about just being diligent to market to and prospect to your sphere of influence. Today, we're going to continue in that conversation. All right. So all of our trainings, of course, are interactive. You guys can unmute yourselves as soon as you hear something and you want to share, or go ahead and enter a message into the chat. All of our trainings, of course, they are recorded for your educational purposes, and they will be on Porterhouse YouTube channel. All right. Would anybody like to share anything that you recall from last week's training? Cozy, I know you were with us last week. I'm going to call on you. What do you recall from what we trained on over the last couple of weeks, I should ask? Or what were your key takeaways for any of you?
One of those, I wasn't here last weekend. I haven't gone over that one again, so I don't
know. Don't worry, not a problem at all. Well, I will do a quick recap. Last week, we were talking about just seed time and harvest and being diligent, right? Each of us, we have various reasons why we got into real estate, and you owe it to yourselves to be diligent over your real estate business. While you guys are agents and realty pros at Porterhouse, our goal for you is that each one of our agents establishes a powerhouse of a real estate business for yourself. And we talk about how to do that. Some of our new agents, you guys are going to go through that in our new agent training. We have our new agent orientation coming up on this coming Saturday. But one of the things that we say often, and I can't say it enough, is that in your real estate business, you want to devote as much time and attention to your real estate business as you desire to see a harvest on, right? Because in real estate, there's no glass ceiling. You can literally make as much as you desire to make in real estate. That being said, you want to make sure that you put in the effort into educating yourselves, and the effort into prospecting and being diligent over the things that you're being taught to do. Okay. Welcome, Curtis. Welcome, Mr. Porter, as well. That's a quick recap of what we talked about last week. And this week, I just want to ask you guys some questions in terms of marketing to your sphere of influence, reaching out to people that you already know, because that is what the lowest hanging fruit is. And when we're talking about marketing for listings, you hear us all the time talk about your sphere of influence, moving them into your book of business so that you can generate leads while you sleep, right? And that's one of the features that we offer to you guys in your constant contact, because it allows for you to send out those marketing campaigns to people on a consistent basis. So no matter whether you're in training or you're on vacation, your name and your face are constantly before them. So the first question for today is, as it pertains to marketing to people that you know, how do you guys feel about calling, emailing, and texting people that you know to ask them for real estate business?
I feel good about it.
Awesome. Does anybody have any hesitation? Does anybody have any reservations? Do we all feel comfortable with that?
I feel good about it. As a matter of fact, I have been calling people and getting their email addresses.
Great.
So I'm still working through I feel like a salesperson piece. And I usually, when I'm talking to folks, I work to remember to say as I'm leaving, remember, I'm in real estate, and I'm still doing this. So if you have if you know anyone who needs help in real estate in my area, I'll be glad to work with them. So it's taking some time for me to do that, but it's something that I'm really working up to doing, because the other thing I'm hearing is that when I do work with clients, they're usually pretty happy with, the amount of time that I take with them and the education process that they go through with me when they're trying to buy or sell.
Thank you for sharing that, Dee. I appreciate it. Does anybody else feel any hesitation or reservations with regards to reaching out to your sphere of influence? And welcome, Anthony. I see that Anthony has joined us as well. Welcome to you.
Hey, how's everyone doing today?
Doing well, thanks. Dee, I'd like to say thank you for sharing that perspective. And I believe that many other people, maybe some of which are, multitasking or may have other commitments at the moment, will probably feel the same way that you do. And that's the reason why we're having this conversation. Because as an agent, what is your license type? Can anybody tell me what your license type is as a realtor?
Sales associate?
Almost. Anybody else?
Whatever you need done in the fields of real estate.
I like that perspective. Literally, however, what's your license type?
Salesperson.
That's exactly it. So you're licensed to be a salesperson, literally, not figuratively. You are a real estate salesperson. So I know that a lot of people get very uncomfortable when it comes to feeling like a salesperson. And Dee, thank you for sharing that, because I've had that conversation with a great many agents. And that is one of the things that we've got to overcome right away, if not yesterday, because you are a salesperson. We are all salespersons and we're licensed to sell real estate. So your goal at the end of the day for every conversation that you have with somebody surrounding that topic is to be hired as their salesperson, right? Because at some point or another, people will need to have assistance in some type of real estate transaction, right? Most people will at some point. And the question is, who are they going to work with? Who's actually going to help them to sell their home? Who's going to help to sell them a home? And that's going to be based on who has spent the time reminding them that they are a real estate salesperson. How do you guys feel about that? There's an old adage that says the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So to that end, I want you guys to be encouraged to know that just like you look at TV, if you look at TV and you see all these ads come on and commercials for, you name it, from GoDaddy.com to, every type of marketing ad that you see on TV, that is the purpose of the calls that you're making, the text messages that you're sending, the constant contact campaigns that you're sending out. It is marketing to remind people that you are a real estate salesperson and you want to help them in that regard. Mr. Porter, I see that you've unmuted yourself. Do you have something you'd like to add? Because this is your specialty.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say that, one thing that changed my perspective a long time ago was, I forget who it was that said this to me, but they said if I was apprehensive, or if you're apprehensive in terms of marketing and selling yourself to the client, how are they gonna feel about your confidence in selling their home? So that kind of changed my perspective. So, it gave me a license, if you will, to use my license to be a salesperson. So the first thing that we all sell is ourselves. And if you're not selling yourself, then I can't reasonably believe that you're going to sell something that's mine or that's my possession. So your first sales pitch really is getting a person to commit to being to allowing you to be their representative. But I tell you like this, I wouldn't want to go into a courtroom with a stuttering lawyer. or with one that wasn't confident in his abilities. And so whatever you project is what you're going to get, guys. So I'm very direct, I'm very forward, I'm very assertive because about myself and about what I'm able to do. And the fact that when I call my sphere of influence, I'm saying, hey, will you send me a lead in a long time? I'm letting them know, I'm sending signals to them that I'm direct, I'm going to get things done. And I'm not going to be, I don't have a good word for it, but I'm not going to try to sugarcoat selling your house. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat the fact that I'm a licensed real estate agent and I want to do business. So I think we got to break out of that shell if we want to be successful, guys. And I know it's a little different. I know, because I'm masculine in that sense, I come off a little edgy, but Jasmine has a way of doing the same thing that just works. She's very assertive. She's very straightforward. She's very, in your face with it. And it all builds your business. It makes people excited about you. When you're nervous, people are going to be nervous about you. When you're apprehensive, people are going to be apprehensive about you. Whatever you project is what you're going to get.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So for those of you who joined us after we began the conversation, the question was, how do you feel about marketing to your sphere of influence surrounding the topic of being a salesperson?
If I could just jump in real quick. I think a lot of times too, especially as newer agents, we'll overthink it, or we'll think that we have to hard sell our sphere of influence or people even around us, where a lot of times in the beginning, it's just a matter of you just letting them know that you are an agent. And you can do that through, like Jasmine was saying, your email campaign with constant contact, any social media, start posting anything about real estate, what you're doing. But it doesn't have to be like you're calling or you're emailing as in a real hard pitch sell. I'm ready to help you sell your home, or, like a hard pitch. It just letting them know, like, hey, I'm an agent, and just starting dialogue. And when you do that, you'll start to talk about real estate. Not all the time, but sometimes. And then that gets you kind of, you can kind of loosen your gums a little bit and just start talking about what you know. So you don't have to look at it as like a real hard sell, of like you're calling people to sell them. In the beginning, it helps you to just kind of loosen up that, hey, I'm an agent. I want everybody around me to know that. And if I'm striking a conversation with somebody, here's my card. If you know somebody that wants to buy or sell, I'd love to help them. And that's it. You keep it moving after that. You don't have to, let me get your email, your home address. Are you ready, right now? Because then you seem desperate. It's just more of the, just starting to talk to people and let them know, like, hey, I'm here to help. Any facet of real estate, I got you. If I don't, I know somebody who does.
Thank you for sharing that, Curtis. That's that works really well for Curtis. He has seen a whole lot of results. Okay. That being said, we want you guys to be encouraged. Like Mr. Porter said, if you're not confident in your ability to sell yourself, then clients will take that as if you will be just as unconfident in your ability to sell their houses. So let's be confident in the fact that you have a license to sell real estate. So it's going to give you the ability to do whatever you need to do. Like Curtis said, anything real estate, I can help you with it. Okay. So I just want to kind of break the ice with that, because I know that a lot of agents, sometimes newer agents, sometimes seasoned agents, struggle with that. So I want to make sure that we are all confident and encouraged to know that it is what you're supposed to do. Get out of your comfort zone, reach out to people. And I dare say that you want to make sure that no matter who you're talking to, unless of course it's something that where it would be totally inappropriate, they need to know that you're a realtor. The worst feeling as a realtor is when you know a person that has just closed on a home, and not only did they not use you as an agent, but they say, oh, I didn't even know that you were a realtor, right?
Yeah.
That can be a slap in the face, right? And we just had a couple of our clients up at the office yesterday, and we know a number of the same people. And they looked at some of the business cards on there, they're grabbing some of the business cards, and they say, I know this person well. I didn't know that they were an agent.
Mm. Mrs. Porter, one of the things that we have been talking about in our group is that and thinking about what Curtis said as well, but that you don't always have to talk about real estate. You can, when you post or when you share on Constant Contact or when you're talking to folks, you can share a little bit about yourself. So you can share things like if you like cooking recipes, or if you like poetry, or if you like, I don't know, pets. Everybody seems to like that kind of thing. The kinds of things that are that you're often looking at, you can post those and then make sure that your card or your contact information about your real estate is always there, as a I don't know, I don't want to say postage stamp, but it's always there. It's always your stamp, like Aurelia's Porterhouse International Realty Group and her face. That's always there on whatever you actually share with the public, so that even though you may not be talking about real estate, they'll see that you are a realtor all the time.
So I appreciate that perspective, and thank you for sharing that, Dee. I have heard people say that, but I will tell you that my experience has been absolutely opposite, right? My experience is, as a realtor, you boldly move forward and post that you post real estate, and you sprinkle in other things, right? You don't share an abundance of other things and sprinkle in real estate. You are a realtor and you are purposeful about what you're doing. It's marketing, right? You're confident and you're adding value because you're sharing marketing information with people. You're sharing insight on the local, market climate and homes and so many different things that people need to know and are very interested in real estate. So I have had a totally different experience with that. And I've heard other people that, say the same thing that you guys were considering in your group. So thank you for sharing that so that we can just talk about that openly together. Again, my experience has been absolutely opposite. For everybody that knows me, the things that when we do, post things, they're absolutely real estate. And from time to time, we'll sprinkle in a little bit of the personal so that people know you are a real person, but that's from time to time, not in reverse order. We're not, saying, hey, I'm going to, possibly sell your real estate. No, we're realtors. This is what we do. Right. In any other industry, when people are marketing themselves, you have people that are on social media, on Instagram all the time. They may do nails, they may do hair, they may do whatever, but they're constantly marketing their business. So when you look at their page, you're seeing all of these amazing nails, or if they're an artist or whatever it is that they're doing. So with real estate, I want to really help to break us out of this shell to where we are afraid to be realtors, where we're afraid to market ourselves and brand ourselves as the realtor of choice. For each one of us, you each should be the realtor of choice for the people in your sphere of influence, right? Every single person that knows you needs to know that you're a realtor. They can get recipes from anywhere. And if they get recipes, those recipes aren't going to provide them with the same life-changing experience as if they buy a new home will, right? Because when you help people to actualize their dreams, people have dreamed their whole lives of being homeowners or, living in their home for a certain amount of time and now selling that investment so that they can do some other things. And, there's so many things, but whenever you help somebody to buy or sell real estate, it is literally a life-changing event. We are literally helping to change people's lives on a daily basis. No differently than people graduating from college, people having a child, getting married, people buying their first house, people retiring, if I didn't say that already, people selling the home that they raised their families in their whole lives, people, scaling up and buying the home of their dreams. All of these things are milestones. They're milestones, and I don't want us tiptoeing around them. I want for us to know our value proposition, know who we are and what it is that we bring to the table, but also know how the public regards it. The public loves real estate. And I'm grateful because of HGTV and all these other shows on TV. People are intrigued and they are absolutely fascinated with you and what you do. They're absolutely fascinated with realtors, real estate, and all of these things. That being said, utilize that to your advantage, because what we do is something that we believe in. What we do is something that is a benefit and a blessing to everybody that we are able to help. You're changing people's lives every single day. So I want to make sure that we have that perspective in mind and know that our goal is to do the opposite of tiptoeing around what it is that we're here for, but boldly moving out and saying, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I'm happy to help you too. Because it's a service-based industry. We're of service to people. So we want to provide them with, the best quality of service possible, but we can't do that if we aren't bold to say, hey, let me help you sell that property. You want to buy a home, you want to sell your home, you want to purchase that new building, you want to lease that office space, we can help you with it. Okay. So be forward. People respect you when they know what your motivations are. People respect you when they see that you are serious about your hustle. People respect you as a professional, right? And when people see that you're diligent, if you call them and you text and you're sending out your campaigns, people, even if you don't speak to that person, they're going to respect you. They're going to say, wow, Anthony, I respect your hustle. Herman, I respect your hustle. I see that you're grinding every day. I see these emails come over from you. I see these messages. I'm getting things from you. And whether or not they've worked with you at that point, they are going to respect your professionalism. They're going to respect you as a realtor. And when they're ready to buy and sell, chances are they're going to be willing to work with you because you were diligent in your service. You were diligent, you were consistent, and you didn't shy away, right? So that is who we are. And that is what we want for each one of our agents to either be now or be transformed into, because it is your real estate business that you're growing. In order to do that, you got to be planting real estate seed, not a maybe possibly seed. You want to be specific, right? You want to know exactly what it is that you're planting, and you need to be watering that seed on a consistent basis. Again, not sprinkling in here and there a little bit of real estate first, sprinkle in everything else. Does anybody have any thoughts as it pertains to that?
Well, Ms. Porter, I'm so glad that you said that, because I know that a lot of times we can all get into a thing where we're a little concerned about being bold, and we're a little concerned about, kind of being not, I would say aggressive in what we do. But I remember something that you and Mr. Porter said when I first started, and you said that it's not the market, it's the marketing, and how important that is. And marketing always starts with you, because you have to market yourself before you can market anything else. So we don't want to be undercover real estate agents. We want everyone to know when we say, and that's what I love so much about the badge that we wear. I love the fact that we have shirts. So when we walk out, even to strangers, because I have been out in the community, and I've seen people looking at my badge, trying to read what it says. I've seen people, looking at my shirt and seeing what it says before I even get up to them. And so when I notice that they're doing it, I'll say, hey, how you doing? How you like that? Whatever. And then I did the thing that Mr. Porter said, where the badge was upside down. And people would come to me and say, what's that thing? Because they're trying to read it upside down. And so then they'll say, your thing is up. I say, oh, no, really? And so I'll change it right then. As soon as they leave, I'll turn it back upside down, because it's just something it's something to get conversation started. It's an icebreaker. So one of the things that I really have received from you guys is that even though you both have different styles, you both are very bold, and you consider yourselves, and I think this is the mindset that we all have to have, that you're an expert. And even with people that we know, Because a lot of times people that know you, they're like, yeah, boy, I remember you when you was doing something else, or, you know, whatever. And they sometimes they can't see that, they can't take you serious as an expert. So even more so, we have to let our close and our warm market know that, yeah, but this is what I do now. I'm an expert in this. I've been trained. I'm licensed. And a lot of times when people hear that you're licensed in something, it gives more credibility to it, because they realize that you've had to go through some type of actual training and learning and whatnot. And that there is a, because I tell people all the time, I say, you know, I'm a licensed real estate agent, you know, in Maryland. You know, we had to be licensed. I had to go to learn all of this. And people respect that. People respect anytime you've had to put time, energy, and patience into something that you've learned to do. So I appreciate you saying that, because sometimes we do get a little bit nervous around, especially around friends and family. And we don't want to really step up to them and say, listen, you know, you don't want to wait. You don't want to, I tell people all the time, you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait. So it's really working. So I think we want to just be strong in the marketplace. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kermon. Those were great perspectives there. Again, I want to make sure that we are all confident in who we are and what we bring to the table. You've heard Kermon reiterate it. Mr. Porter and I have said it a million times, and we'll probably say it 2 million more. The number one thing that you sell in this business is not a property. It is yourself, right? You are selling yourself every time you are in front of a person, whether you think you are or not, right? And the fact that you're a realtor, you know, you're absolutely selling yourself. So the question is, are you selling a product that people would want to buy? If you are confident, if you're bold, if you're knowledgeable, let's take a poll. Who would you hire? Would you hire somebody if they're confident, if they're, you know, bold and knowledgeable, or would you hire somebody that's a little bit nervous and squeamish and, you know, passive? If you had to choose a person to represent you, who would you choose?
Person A.
All right, D said person A. Who else? Who would you choose?
Person A every day.
All right, Kermon says person A.
I say all three. I would want them to have all of it. Confident, bold, and knowledgeable.
There you go. That's person A. All right. All three of you so far said person A. Would anybody?
Person
I
A.
would, yeah, I would choose person A, but let me say this though, guys. You know, the federal government has a lot of secret agents. They don't need your help. Real estate doesn't need any secret agents whatsoever. If you're a secret agent, you're broke. I'm just going to be honest with you. You have to get over it. You have to get over the fear of being bold. You have to get over the fear of being intentional, and you have to get over the fear of making money, because the only thing that's standing between you and 6 figures in real estate easily, I'm talking about easily,
Very easy.
is your fear. Is your fear of just telling people, this is what I do. I need your help. Give me a call. Help, help, help. And I do this often. I just did it maybe a couple of months ago. I said, friends and family, I need your help to boost my Google ratings. Please give me 5 stars. Here's the link. Friends and family, you haven't sent me a lead. I need your help to keep my real estate business going. It's no shame. I don't know what we're afraid of. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, you need to tell it to step to the side, because it's in the way of your money. It's in the way of your success. And we met with a lot of millionaires, and they don't even talk like this. They don't even think like this. They're going to go and get what they came to get. You got a license. Your license in every time you send an email, it says right there what you are. You are a Porterhouse real estate professional. You are Realty pros. I don't care if you got your license yesterday, you are no longer new. We're going to have new agent training. The day after you do your new agent training, you're no longer new. Get over it. I told Curtis that a long time ago. When he first came to real estate, he kept saying, man, I said, get over it. You're not new anymore. You're a licensed real estate professional. You can do everything that I can do and anybody else in real estate can do. What's the difference between you and them is your fears. You have to overcome them, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't want to participate in the poll, Jasmine. I had to say that.
No, thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. We have some other people who haven't voted. Who would you choose? Person A, bold, confident, knowledgeable. Person B, squeamish, passive, unconfident. Who would you guys choose if you had to choose somebody to represent you?
I said person A.
Okay.
I would choose, good afternoon, everybody. I would choose person A as well.
Hello, Joy. Thank you for
Hello.
sharing that. All right, so let me ask, is there anybody among us who would choose person B? Okay, now that being said, if you were going to, let's ask this, and this should be very obvious. If you're going to an office, let's say it's a doctor's office, and you can't tell whether or not it's a doctor's office, then you look down maybe at the bottom of the desk and you see like Dr. So-and-so, but the rest of the office is so, decorated with all of these other things that it could be any type of office. Or you go into another doctor's office and it is suited from top to bottom, as a doctor's office should be, and all of the communication and things that you're receiving and conversations that you're having are in light of the medical profession. When you have to choose an office to go and, and trust them to perform some type of procedure on you, which office will you feel more comfortable with going to? Office A, that it looks nothing like a doctor's office, but when you look down at the bottom of the desk, you see Dr. So-and-so, or office B, that it is suited from top to bottom as a doctor's office. And you might see a couple of pieces of decor somewhere, but you know absolutely that this is a doctor's office. That's, which one would you choose?
B.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Cozy. Which one would you guys choose? Office A or B?
I want office B, because the first thing I want to see is I want to see your diploma. I want to see to make sure that you graduated from an accredited school. I want to make sure that you graduated from an accredited medical school. So yeah, I want to make sure that I see everything that could state that you are a true doctor and not maybe, someone pretending to be a doctor or a quack or whatever.
Thank you for sharing, Kermon. Is there anybody that would choose office A? If you needed a procedure, would you choose the office that you had to wonder whether or not you saw at the bottom the doctor's name, but everything else you weren't too sure? Is there anybody among us that would choose that office for a procedure that you needed to have done? I think the silence speaks for itself. So my question is, why do we feel that it is a good position for us to take to just load all of our pages and everything else with all this other stuff? And what if the person only checks social media on Saturday, and Saturday is the day that we only post, recent events, and Monday is the day that we post real estate, but they're never on there on Monday. They're only going to see all this other stuff and they don't see anything about real estate. Now maybe you're a realtor, maybe you're not. But if for your real estate business, you're posting real estate on a regular basis, you are professionally branding yourself and you're providing relevant market information, insights, updates all the time, then people know absolutely you are 100% outfitted as a professional licensed real estate expert in this industry. If you guys were choosing, who would you go with? And I want to make sure that this is abundantly clear. So, for those of you that got it from the first word, I'm glad. Thank you for hanging in there. But this is something that keeps coming back. And many people have differences in perspectives, and that's totally fine, because that's the world we live in. But I want to ask you guys to consider it from that perspective, so that as we're moving forward and marketing ourselves, we are bold and we are confident, and we know that if we were on the other end having to choose, what would make you feel more comfortable? Does anybody have a thought or perspective that they'd like to share in light of those things? And first of all, can you see the point? Yeah, I see your message in the chat. Thank you for that.
I see the point, and I would choose the person who's advertising more, putting up showings and open houses like every other week or once a month, maybe twice a month. But I would choose the person that's doing the most advertising.
Thank you for sharing, Cozy. All right, so we are going to move on from this, but I wanted to make sure before we did, it was abundantly clear to all of us that it is essential that we are confident in who we are and what we bring to the table as realtors. We are bold and we are upfront with the value that we add and how we're able to assist people. And we're not squeamish or backing down from marketing our real estate businesses as that, real estate businesses. Okay, Mr. Porter, I see that you've unmuted yourself. Did you have something to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to share something that I never forgot, and it kind of helps me keep perspective of what we're talking about. So, and I'm encouraging you guys to continue to post and advertise and do all of that, and make sure you're intentional about it. But more importantly, the biggest bang for your buck is going to be reaching out and touching people, actually physically contacting a person. And I'm going to go back to a while back where I had a friend who was running for state senator. He won, but a person who I knew who was already had committed to vote for him by phone. I talked to the guy by phone. He said, "I'm going to vote for your candidate." And when I called back, he said, "I have to be very honest with you. I did not vote for your candidate." And I said, "Well, what changed your mind?" He said, "Well, the other guy actually knocked on my door and shook my hand." That blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That blew my mind. And he said, it really wasn't anything. But after I shook the guy's hand and I looked him in his eyes, it was different. I know your guy. He said, "I know your guy, Shay, but I never met him. I never shook his hand." And people remember things like that. When you make an impression on a person, a physical impression is far better than any advertising on the internet, radio, billboards, associations, your homeowner association, any meeting you can go to, go. Talk to the people, pass out your business cards, let them know. They'll remember you. When you sell a house, go back and do the housewarming. They'll remember you. And they're gonna call you. They're gonna be impressed that they met you. They might know 5 other real estate agents. One of them might have went to high school with them between their hand. It really makes a difference, guys.
Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Porter. That personal touch, reaching out to people intentionally, all right? So I will recap something that we've talked about in the past few weeks or so, the sphere of influence, because your referrals are your best lead source, guys. This is the lowest hanging fruit. And the reason that we were taking such a deep dive into the conversation that we just had is so that we uncover all of the fears, uncertainties, and doubts that would preclude us from doing what it is we need to do to actually market to our sphere of influence. Because on a daily basis, we should be calling or texting 10 people, right? So if that's 5 calls and 10 texts, or 10 calls every single day, whatever that looks like, we should be reaching out to people and making a personal touch, because you are growing your real estate business. And the last thing any of us would want to be is a secret agent, okay? That being said, for holidays, when holidays come up, take the opportunity to either call people, send them a holiday card, any type of greeting card. It's a wonderful break from the norm, because people oftentimes receive so many bills in the mail. If they get a card, a greeting card, knowing that you were thinking about them, that is very similar to the touch that Mr. Porter was just talking about. If you can get out to see your sphere of influence, go in to visit people. Hey, just in your neighborhood, I'm canvassing your neighborhood because this is my farm area. I realize that you live right here. Just wanted to stop past and shake your hand, say hello. You know, have you thought about selling your home, or do you know anybody in this community who could use my help? Those are very simple, easy conversations to have, but I want for us to be bold in order to move forward in that vein. All right. Birthday cards, sending out a birthday card to people that you know, that is a warm touch as well, because people want to know that you're thinking of them, right? It's one thing when you're always, you know, you want people to think about you, and we all do, but it's something totally different when people receive some type of message from you that says, hey, you were on my mind. I was thinking about you. So I'm sending you this card, right? Those are some touches to your sphere of influence. We talked about constant contact, and we'll talk about it continually because that's something that we provide to you guys. So it's at no expense to you as a Realty Pro because the brokerage is providing it, right? You're able to establish even birthday campaigns, holiday campaigns, you know, follow-up campaigns in there with people that you know as well. Your sports, there are things that you can send out for calendars, sports calendars, you know what I mean? Or even just a calendar for the beginning of a brand new year. That's something that if you send out a calendar to people in your sphere of influence, down for that entire next 12 months, every time they walk past that calendar, they're going to see your name. They're going to see your face. They're going to see that you're in real estate, and it's an impression that you're making on them, guys. Okay. So we want to make sure that you guys are comfortable and confident to do that. All right. Next, and this is just briefly, we just want to reiterate some of the marketing strategies that we've talked about, because after you get past working with your sphere of influence, that is your first and foremost, because as we've said, that is the lowest hanging fruit, and that's a referral source that you do not pay to receive. After you have done that, you will add one of these other marketing strategies, right? We're not looking for you to do all of these. You can add one of these things and do it consistently. Once you've mastered one, you can add on another, but we do not want you to attempt to take on all of these additional marketing strategies and become overwhelmed, right? So your direct mail pieces, these are excellent marketing pieces that go out to your marketing, your farm market, right? You determine where you want your farm market to be. Do you want it to be the community that you live in? Do you want it to be the one that you work in? Wherever it is that you're going to actually spend time and do the legwork, that's where you want to choose as your farm market. And there's some other pieces to that we've discussed and we'll discuss in the weeks to come. Door hangers, open houses, robo dialers, those are ways to get business. The robo dialers such as Slide Dial, Sly Broadcast, Mojo dialers. If your goal is to do your cold calling, then those robo dialers are great avenues for you because they're going to allow for you to go through the calls in just seconds and they will dial for you. And then your Sly Broadcast, you can simply leave voicemails, right? Say by chance you have a list of 500 people and you utilize Sly Broadcast. Now you're able to send out a voicemail to those 500 people, and a certain percentage of them will call you back for your real estate services. Okay. Email marketing campaigns, Facebook leads, Instagram leads, all of those things. Now we've had for quite some time throughout the pandemic, TikTok. You can go to open houses, you can go to new builds, you can go to your farm area and establish a TikTok, do something. People are on this TikTok like white on rice, guys. So you want to jump in there and utilize that to your advantage. The only way that you shouldn't be sending out some type of communication, on a regular basis is when you say, everybody that I know knows that I'm a realtor and that I have a referral-based business and they send it to me constantly. I'm constantly getting real estate. That's your only excuse for, putting this kind of on autopilot and not being diligent every single day, right? Otherwise, you need to be utilizing these options. And this is something that's going to help for you to build a referral-based business because TikTok is free. Just putting real estate content on there, your Facebook Live, YouTube Live videos, All right, door knocking, like Mr. Porter talked about. The candidate won because he actually called people and went and knocked on their doors and shook their hands. That's very powerful because, as you can imagine, all the marketing dollars that politicians spend in order to win a race, and what actually won the race for one of them in part was how he touched the constituents personally with a call and a door knock and a handshake, right? So if it works in politics, you think it doesn't work well in sales? Of course it does, all right? So there are other online marketing strategies like your HomeSnap, Zillow, Trulia. Those aren't the ones that I utilize to get business. They are options for other people, but those aren't ones that I'm going to dive into. Your community functions. You want to make sure, however, that as a realtor in your farm area, you partner with at the very least one of the subdivisions, if not 2 or 3 within your farm area, and that depends on how many houses are there, of course, but you want to become a member of the association over there. Go and add value. When they have their meetings, you can take, fruit and donuts or whatever it is you want to take over there so that you can establish a relationship, have conversations, become a community resource so that you're able to get business and be a value added to the community. All right. We've talked about hashtags before. So in your farm area, when you're posting things online, your hashtags should always have something about real estate, your farm area. If you want to focus on builders, your subdivisions, whether it be model homes or whatever the case is, you want to utilize all of these things to your advantage. All right. Some of the targeted audiences that we've talked about already, like your expired listings, your for sale by owners, pre-foreclosures, short sales. We've talked about all of those things, and these are some excellent audiences if you want to target for listings, because all of these people, you already know that they need to sell their home, which is very different than a broad or a wide net that you cast in your mailers, because you're sending it out just to everybody, versus honing in on a specific audience of people that need or want to sell their home. Like with your expired listings, you already know this person has their hand up and they're saying, hey, I want to sell, needed to sell, had a previous sale that didn't go too well, right? So they are an audience that you can focus your attention toward. For sale by owners, we talked about that. These people want to do it so badly, they've determined that they're willing to do it on their own. Pre-foreclosures, they need to sell. Those are people that we need to take really great care of. Everybody, of course, but these people are a very different type of client than the others, because the others may want to sell or need to sell for a different reason, but these people are in distress. Your pre-foreclosures, your short sales, those are distressed property types and distressed homeowners. So you can really go in and provide some relief to them with your services, but you've got to be bold and you've got to be confident and you've got to clearly state what your intentions are. Hey, I see that you need, I see that, your property is in pre-foreclosure status and I'd love to help you to sell your home. Be direct, be very direct in the fact that you are there to help them with their real estate. All right, short sales, we've talked about your short sales. We've gone over trainings and how to find these prospects and how to market to them, campaigns and so forth and so on. But these are targeted audiences. All right, some of the services that you can use, the geographicfarm.com, Fiverr, the other one, which name I don't want to butcher, looks like bachigo.com. And then absentee owners, that's another great target for your listings, right? Absentee owners, probate services, estate services. So there are so many different listing types that you can procure from audiences that are already targeted and they need your services, guys. We have something that is definitely a help to anybody that we're able to be of service to. So I want you to be confident in what it is that you bring to the table as a realtor. Be bold in stating who you are and what you do, and the fact that you want to help everybody that to buy, sell, lease real estate. All right. I'm going to end right there for today, and I want to open the floor for you guys. Any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? Key takeaways? Well, first things first, how do you guys feel now about being a secret agent versus a prominently known real estate professional?
I want to be prominently known.
Thank you, Cozy. How about the rest of us?
Ditto. For sure.
Thank you, Kerman. All right, then our next steps for each one of our agents, in addition to what we say all the time, marketing to your sphere of influence. In addition to doing that, you want to choose one of these other marketing types. So a target market, who would you like to market to? And then from all the things that we share, we'll continue to train on, then you will take one of the marketing strategies and apply it to that specific demographic, right? We want to make sure that you have a laser-like focus and you are honed in on specifically who you want to target. Now, that being said, we want to make sure that you guys know that that is not intended to replace your daily calls to your sphere of influence, and you're passing out your business card, and each one of you will receive or have already received your electronic copy of your business card. So included in your text messages, you should be sending out your electronic business card as well, because that's a further impression. All right. So as we continue to develop each of you in terms of where you desire, to aim or focus your marketing efforts, be sure to know that this is in addition to your sphere of influence, not meant to replace your sphere of influence. All right. Does anybody have any questions, comments, takeaways, concerns?
Good afternoon, Ms. Porter. I do, and not sure whether this is the correct form, but just wanted to know what time is the orientation on Saturday?
It is from 9 until 11.
9 till 11? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Got it. You are so welcome. And I'll shoot it back over to you in your Porterhouse email also. And that's for our new agents. So a couple of our new agents that are on the line that didn't previously participate in that new agent orientation, it is this Saturday. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions, comments, concerns, key takeaways, anything you'd like to share before we end for the day?
I had something that was off topic.
And we can talk about it. I want to go ahead and end the recording so that we can go ahead and post this on our YouTube channel. If it's off topic, I'll hang around for a couple moments for any questions, okay? Thank you, Dee. All right, final call. Anybody
Jasmine.
else have anything? Yes.
Want to go over any logistics for next week?
Thank you for reminding me for that. So Mr. Porter and I are, hold on. You know what? Let me go ahead and end the recording and I will go over that. Hold on one second. We will see you guys same time next Thursday. Mr. Porter and I will be on travel, so you will have another host for next week's Realty Talks. Until then,